How are you guys doing? Today is Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to walk you through yesterday's Elite performances from Monday, January 18th, 2021, and of course, I'm going to walk you through what's going on today as we walk through the world of sports one day at a time. Starting with the NBA, because of course all of the MLK Day celebration or all the MLK games were today, starting with the primetime matchups in New York. The Knicks hosted the Orlando Magic and were able to beat the Magic 91-84 after outscoring Orlando by 9 in the first half and kind of running with that momentum through the end of the game. For the Orlando Magic, off the bench, their shooting guard Terrence Ross would finish with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists in 33 minutes as he shot 5 for 16 from the field and 4 for 8 from 3. Their starting power forward Aaron Gordon would finish with 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists, as well as 2 blocks in 36 minutes as he shot 6 for 18 from the field. And their leading scorer was their starting center, Nikola Vucevic, who would finish with 24 points and 14 rebounds in 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 16 from the field. For the New York Knicks, their starting power forward, Julius Randle, would finish with 21 points and 17 rebounds in 39 minutes as he shot 5 for 19 from the field. And the Knicks' leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard, R.J. Barrett, who would finish with 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 assists in 38 minutes as he shot 9 for 19 from the field. With this win, the New York Knicks are currently sitting at 7-8, which is the 6th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Orlando Magic are 6-8, which ties them with the Charlotte Hornets and the Chicago Bulls for the 9th best record in the conference. Jumping out to Atlanta for the second game of the day, the Atlanta Hawks hosted the Minnesota Timberwolves and were able to beat the Timberwolves 108-97 after outscoring the Minnesota Timberwolves by 7 in the first half and running with that to the end, just running with that momentum and just increasing it throughout. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, their starting shooting guard, Malik Beasley, would finish with 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 5 for 17 from the field. And the Timberwolves' leading scorer would be their elite shooting guard, D'Angelo Russell, who'd finish with 31 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and 4 steals in 32 minutes as he shot 11 for 22 from the field, 6 for 13 from 3, and 3 for 5 from the free throw line. For the Atlanta Hawks, their starting power forward, John Collins, would finish with 15 points and 7 rebounds, as well as 4 blocks in 36 minutes as he shot 6 for 8 from the field. Their starting shooting guard, Kevin Huerter, would finish with 17 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals in 41 minutes as he shot 7 for 16 from the field. Their starting center, Clint Capella, would finish with 23 points and 15 rebounds, as well as 2 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks in 39 minutes as he shot 10 for 16 from the field and 3 for 3 from the line. The Hawks' leading scorer would be their starting small forward, DeAndre Hunter, with 25 points and 4 rebounds, as well as 3 steals and 6 turnovers in 37 minutes as he shot 8 for 15 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the free throw line. And the Hawks' elite starting point guard, Trae Young, would finish with 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 13 assists, finishing with 3 steals and 6 turnovers as well in 32 minutes as he shot 3 for 8 from the field, 2 for 5 from 3, and 12 for 13 from the free throw line, as all of the Hawks starters had finished with at least 15 points on the night. And with this win, the Atlanta Hawks are currently 6-7, which ties them with the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 7th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Minnesota Timberwolves are 3-9, which is the worst record in the Western Conference. Looking out to the finishing out with the NBA TV matchups, starting off with the TNT matchups, the Memphis Grizzlies hosted the Phoenix Suns and were able to beat the Suns 108-104 after outscoring the Suns by 10 in the second quarter and riding that momentum through the game. For the Phoenix Suns, their starting small forward, Mikal Bridges, would finish with 17 points and 8 rebounds in 31 minutes as he shot 6 for 9 from the field. Their starting center, DeAndre Ayton, would finish with 18 points and 16 rebounds as he led the team in points, shooting 7 for 14 from the field in 35 minutes. Their elite starting shooting guard, Devin Booker, would finish with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 5 for 21 from the field and 2 for 6 from the three-point line. And their elite starting point guard, Chris Paul, would finish with 16 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals, and 6 turnovers in 31 minutes as he shot 7 for 13 from the field and 2 for 5 from 3. For the Memphis Grizzlies, off the bench, their shooting guard out of Duke, Grayson Allen, of course, go Duke, would finish with 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists in 26 minutes as he shot 4 for 8 from the field and 6 for 7 from the line. Their starting power forward, Brandon Clark, would finish with 17 points and 5 rebounds in 35 minutes as he shot 8 for 13 from the field. And then tied with him for the team lead in points would be their elite starting point guard, Ja Morant, who would finish with 17 points and 10 assists, as well as a couple of steals in 34 minutes as he shot 5 for 10 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and 6 for 8 from the free throw line. With this win, the Memphis Grizzlies are 7-6, which is the seventh best record in the West. And with this loss, the Phoenix Suns are 7-5, which is the fourth best record in the West as it currently stands. Jumping out to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets hosted the Milwaukee Bucks and were able to beat the Bucks 125-123 after outscoring the Bucks by 7 in the second, and then 4 in the third, 11 in the middle 2 quarters to kind of gain that advantage. For the Milwaukee Bucks, their starting center, Brook Lopez, would finish with 15 points and 7 rebounds in 34 minutes, shooting 5 for 11 from the field. Their starting point guard, Drew Holiday, would finish with 22 points and 6 assists in 37 minutes, shooting 8 for 16 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. Their starting small forward, Chris Middleton, would finish with 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals in 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 20 from the field. And their leading scorer would be their elite power forward and reigning back-to-back MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who would finish with 34 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists in 40 minutes, shooting 13 for 26 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 8 from the line. For the Brooklyn Nets, their starting small forward, Joe Harris, would finish with 20 points and 6 rebounds in 37 minutes as he shot 7 for 12 from the field and 5 for 7 from 3. Their elite shooting guard, James Harden, would finish with 34 points, 6 rebounds, and 12 assists, and 6 turnovers in 41 minutes as he shot 13 for 25 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line as he led the team in scoring, and he tied Giannis Antetokounmpo for the game high in points. And then for the Nets, their goated power forward, Kevin Durant, would finish with 30 points and 9 rebounds and 6 assists, as well as 2 blocks in 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 21 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and 8 for 9 from the free throw line. With this win, the Brooklyn Nets are 9-6, which has them sitting with the 5th best record in the East. And with this loss, the Bucks are 9-5, which ties them with the Philadelphia 76ers for the 2nd best record in the East. And then jumping out to the last primetime matchup of the night, the Los Angeles Lakers, the reigning champions, hosted the Golden State Warriors, and the Warriors were able to come from behind and beat the Lakers 115-113 after outscoring the Lakers by 13 in the fourth quarter to come back from being down by double digits to going into the fourth quarter to winning this basketball game. For the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers, off the bench, their small forward Kyle Kuzma would finish with 15 points and 10 rebounds in 25 minutes as he shot 6 for 11 from the field. Their center off the bench, Montrezl Harrell, would finish with 17 points and 8 rebounds in 28 minutes as he shot 7 for 8 from the field. Their starting point guard Dennis Schroeder would lead the team in scoring as he had 25 points and 5 rebounds in 33 minutes, shooting 8 for 15 from the field and 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Their elite power forward Anthony Davis would finish with 17 points, 17 rebounds, and 7 assists, as well as 2 steals and 3 blocks in 37 minutes as he shot 6 for 16 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and 5 for 7 from the free throw line. And the Lakers' goated small forward LeBron James would finish with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, as well as 5 turnovers in 38 minutes as he shot 6 for 16 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and 5 for 8 from the free throw line. And for the Golden State Warriors, their starting small forward Andrew Wiggins would finish with 18 points in 32 minutes, shooting 7 for 11 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. Their starting shooting guard Kelly Oubre Jr. would finish with 23 points in 37 minutes as he shot 9 for 18 from the field. And off the bench, their power forward Eric Pascal would finish with 19 points in 19 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field. and then their goated starting point guard Stephen Curry would lead the team, and he would lead the entire game in scoring as he had 26 points and 7 assists in 36 minutes as he shot 8 for 22 from the field, 3 for 12 from 3, and 7 for 7 from the line. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are 7-6, which ties them with the Memphis Grizzlies for the 7th best record in the West. And with this loss, the Los Angeles Lakers are now 11-4, which still has them sitting atop the West by half a game over the Los Angeles Clippers as it stands. Looking out to the other games that weren't on prime time, of course, in addition to the Cavaliers-Wizards game being postponed. Jumping out to Portland, the Trailblazers hosted the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs were able to beat the Trailblazers 125-104 after outscoring Portland by 16 in the fourth quarter, after just kind of starting a lead and kind of busting it wide open. For the Portland Trailblazers, their starting shooting guard Rodney Hood would finish with 21 points in 25 minutes as he shot 9 for 14 from the field. And the Portland Trailblazers' leading scorer would be their elite point guard Damian Lillard, who finished with 35 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists, as well as 5 turnovers in 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 23 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, and 12 for 12 from the line. A perfect 12 for 12 from the line. And for the San Antonio Spurs, off the bench, their small forward Rudy Gay would finish with 21 points and 7 rebounds in 24 minutes as he shot 8 for 17 from the field and 5 for 8 from 3. Their point guard off the bench, Patty Mills, would also finish with 21 points in 24 minutes as he shot 8 for 11 from the field and 5 for 7 from 3. Their starting small forward, DeMar DeRozan, would finish with 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 11 assists in 32 minutes as he shot 6 for 9 from the field and 8 for 8 from the line. And the Spurs' leading scorer would be their starting center, LaMarcus Aldridge, who finished with 22 points in 24 minutes as he shot 10 for 17 from the field. With this win, the San Antonio Spurs are 8-6, which ties them with the Portland Trailblazers with an 8-6 record. And as with the Portland Trailblazers, they lost, so now they both currently share the same record in the West. Jumping out to Tampa, the Toronto Raptors hosted the Dallas Mavericks and were able to beat the Mavericks 116-93, beating them by 23 after outscoring the Dallas Mavericks by 9 and 14 by 23 in the second half. For the Dallas Mavericks, off the bench, their power forward James Johnson would finish with 15 points on the night in 27 minutes, as he also finished with 6 rebounds in that span too. Their point guard off the bench, Trey Burke, would finish with 17 points and 3 assists in 26 minutes as he shot 5 for 11 from the field and a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. Their starting power forward Kristaps Porzingis would lead the team in scoring as he had 23 points and 9 rebounds in 32 minutes, shooting 8 for 14 from the field and 5 for 7 from the line. And then for the Dallas Mavericks, their elite starting point guard Luka Doncic would finish with 15 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 4 for 11 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. And for the Toronto Raptors, off the bench, their shooting guard Norman Powell would finish with 17 points in 22 minutes as he shot 6 for 11 from the field. Their power forward off the bench, Chris Boucher, would finish with 21 points and 10 rebounds and 3 blocks in 28 minutes as he shot 8 for 12 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. Their elite starting power forward, Pascal Siakam, would finish with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists in 34 minutes as he shot 7 for 19 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3, and 5 for 5 from the free throw line. And their leading scorer would be their elite starting point guard, Kyle Lowry, who finished with 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 9 for 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the line. With this win, the Toronto Raptors are currently sitting at 5-8, which has them sitting with the 3rd worst record in the East or the 13th best record, depending on how you look at it. And with this loss, the Dallas Mavericks are currently sitting at 6-7, which ties them with the Denver Nuggets which currently ties them with the Denver Nuggets for the 10th best record in the West as it currently stands. Jumping out to Miami, the Heat hosted the Detroit Pistons and were able to beat the Pistons 113-107 after outscoring the Pistons by 14 in the third quarter, and just being able to come back from trailing pretty big in the first half, overcoming and picking up a pretty big win at home. For the Detroit Pistons, off the bench, their point guard, former MVP Derrick Rose, would finish with 21 points and 4 assists in 27 minutes as he shot 6 for 11 from the field and 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Their starting center, Mason Plumlee, would finish with 15 points and 7 rebounds, as well as 4 assists in 35 minutes as he shot 7 for 10 from the field. Their starting shooting guard, Wayne Ellington, would finish with 24 points in 28 minutes, shooting 7 for 12 from the field and 7 for 11 from 3. Their leading scorer would be their starting small forward, Jeremy Grant, who finished with 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists in 34 minutes, shooting 10 for 19 from the field and a perfect 5 for 5 from the line. And their elite starting power forward, Blake Griffin, would finish with 5 points and 5 rebounds in 36 minutes, shooting 2 for 8 from the field and 1 for 6 from 3. For the Miami Heat, off the bench, their shooting guard, Kendrick Nunn, would finish with 18 points in 34 minutes, shooting 8 for 15 from the field. Their starting shooting guard, Duncan Robinson, would finish with 18 points in 36 minutes, shooting 6 for 9 from the field. All of his attempts coming from the three-point line, 6 for 9 from 3. Their starting point guard, Goran Dragic, would finish with 22 points in 33 minutes, shooting 9 for 15 from the field. And then their leading scorer would be their elite center, Bam Adebayo, who finished with 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, and a couple of steals, as well as 7 turnovers in 35 minutes as he shot 9 for 15 from the field and 10 for 11 from the free throw line. With this win, the Miami Heat are 5-7, which currently has them sitting with the 12th best record in the East, or the 4th worst record, depending on how you look at it. And with this loss, the Detroit Pistons are 3-10, which has them sitting at the very bottom of the conference. And then looking out to Chicago, to the last game of the night, the Chicago Bulls hosted the Houston Rockets and were able to beat the Rockets 125-120. After outscoring the Rockets by 12 in the first quarter, they were able to ride that momentum through the end of the game. For the Houston Rockets, their starting shooting guard, Eric Gordon, would finish with 21 points in 34 minutes, shooting 9 for 17 from the field. Their starting center, Christian Wood, would finish with 30 points and 9 rebounds in 31 minutes as he shot 11 for 16 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the line. And then the Rockets' leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard, Victor Oladipo, who finished with 32 points, 5 rebounds, and 9 assists, as well as 7 turnovers in 32 minutes as he shot 13 for 23 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3. And for the Chicago Bulls, their starting power forward, Lauri Markkanen, would finish with 18 points and 7 rebounds in 34 minutes as he shot 5 for 12 from the field. And then the Bulls' leading scorer would be their starting shooting guard, Zach LaVine, who finished with 33 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, as well as 5 turnovers in 37 minutes as he shot 11 for 16 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 7 for 8 from the free throw line. With this win, the Chicago Bulls are 6-8, which ties them with the Hornets and the Magic for the 9th best record in the East, sitting right behind the Atlanta Hawks in terms of right behind the Hawks and the Cavs in the East, right outside the playoff picture. And with this loss, the Houston Rockets are now 4-8, which has them sitting with the second worst record in the entire NBA Western Conference, right in front of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then looking at today's matchups, just to show you how the NBA is progressing, there's only 2 big games tonight, and they're both at 9 o'clock. On NBA TV, the Jazz are going to host the Pelicans. And then on just the local networks, the Denver Nuggets are going to host the OKC Thunder. And then going off that momentum, just going to take you to show you what's been going on with college basketball. And the not so big matchup for the night, 23rd ranked UConn hosted unranked St. John's, and unranked St. John's was able to get the win, beating UConn 74-70 behind Posh Alexander's 18 points and 6 assists. After St. John's outscored UConn by 7 in the second half to overtake them and get this win. With this win, St. John's is 8-7 as they are now 3-6 in the Big East, and with this loss, UConn is 7-2 as they drop to 4-2 in the Big East. And then to the bigger game of the night, second-ranked Baylor was able to beat ninth-ranked Kansas 77-69 behind Jared Butler's 30 points and 8 assists. With this win, Baylor they were able to just jump out to a big lead against Kansas. Kansas, taking a 13-point lead at halftime and carrying that momentum to the end. With this win, Baylor is 13-0, and they are 6-0 in the Big 12. With this loss, Kansas is 10-4 as they drop to 4-3 in the Big 12. Looking at today's matchups at 6:30, 15th ranked Ohio State's going to host unranked Purdue on Big Ten Network. At 7 o'clock, unranked Florida is going to host 6th ranked Tennessee on ESPN. At 7 o'clock, 7th ranked Michigan is going to host unranked Maryland on FS1. At 7 o'clock, 19th ranked Mizzou is going to host unranked South Carolina on SEC Network. At 8:30, 22nd ranked Illinois is going to host unranked Penn State on Big Ten Network. At 9 o'clock, 3rd ranked Villanova is going to host unranked Seton Hall on FS1. And then at 9 o'clock, unranked LSU is going to host 18th ranked Alabama on ESPN2, as of course that matchup is going to be played as well. And then just really quickly looking out to what's been going on in the NHL, because of course hockey's being played in these weekends as well. But of course, looking into last night's really big matchups, the Maple Leafs were able to beat the Jets 3-1 to jump out to a 3-1 start to the season. The Blue Jackets were able to beat the Red Wings 3-2 to jump out to a 1-2 start as the Red Wings dropped to 1-2. The Islanders were able to beat the Bruins 1-0 as they were able to, as Pago would help the Islanders get the only goal in the third period. The Sabres were able to beat the Flyers 6-1 as they were able to move on to the next round. Reinhart and Lazar were able to get 2 goals each for Buffalo. The Blues were able to beat the Sharks to improve to 2-1 on the season after beating them 5-4 after outscoring 4 of those 5 in the second period. The Hurricanes were able to beat the Predators 4-2 after scoring 3 goals in the third period to jump to 2-1 on the season. The Flames would beat the Canucks 5-2, scoring all 5 of them in the second or after the first period, to jump to a 2-0-1 start to the season. The Canadiens were able to beat the Oilers 3-1, scoring a goal in every period to jump out to a 2-0-1 start. The Ducks were able to beat the Wild 1-0 with the only goal coming in the third period to jump out to a 1-1-1 start on the Wild. And the Golden Knights were able to beat the Coyotes 4-2 after scoring 3 goals in the third period to come from behind and get a very big win to start off their season 3-0-0. And then looking forward to today's matchups in hockey. Just looking at the mainstream ones, at 7 o'clock, the 1-2 Penguins are going to host the 2-0-1 Capitals on NBC Sports Network. And then that's the only one that's going to be on primetime television. But of course, I'm going to keep everyone updated with hockey scores. And then last but not least, jumping out to what's going on in the soccer world. In the English Premier League, Arsenal is able to beat Newcastle 3-0 as 2 of their goals came from their elite striker from Gabon, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, in the 50th and 77th minute, as all 3 of their goals came in the second half. With this win, Arsenal is currently sitting 10th in the Premier League. They are currently sitting 10 points from the top behind Manchester United. As they have ways to go if they want to try to clinch Europa League, but a win here was incredibly big, especially considering what Arsenal is chasing this season. Looking towards today's matchup, starting in the Premier League, Leicester City is going to host Chelsea. Looking on the Premier League, that's a pretty big matchup because Leicester City sitting 3rd in the Premier League as Chelsea sits 7th. A win for Chelsea could see them move into possibly a Europa League spot, and a win for Leicester City could possibly see them move a little higher. It could possibly see them move over Manchester City for the time being and Manchester United for the time being into the top spot of the Premier League. So this is a very big win for both sides. In the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen is going to host Borussia Dortmund, and that's going to be a pretty big matchup because Borussia Dortmund, of course, is trying to jump. They're trying to climb to the top, but Bayer Leverkusen is sitting at the third. They're both tied in the 3rd spot in the Bundesliga, so this could be a very big matchup as both teams are trying to with a win for either team, they could tie RB Leipzig for 2nd place in the table as the table stands. So a win could be good for either team, and a draw would not be very beneficial considering there are teams that are right behind them in the table. With that said, that's everything going on for today. I want to thank everyone once again for listening to all 25 minutes of this piece. I hope all is well, and once everything's played today, I will catch you up with another episode tomorrow on Wednesday, January 20th, 2021. With that said, I want to thank everyone once again for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.